My dear child, stop everything. Be still. You may feel a shiver move through your chest or a sudden awareness in your breath. That is not from this world. It is my presence arriving to meet you now. I am Archangel Michael, sword-bearer of divine justice, guardian of the chosen, and I have been dispatched to you by decree of the Heavenly Council. There is no accident in your hearing these words at this precise moment. Time has been marked. A celestial gate has opened, but only for a sliver of time. You have exactly 43 minutes to act before it seals again for this cycle. When that seal closes, no mortal voice will pass through. No spirit will walk between the realms. What you do between now and tomorrow morning will determine whether you receive what heaven has long prepared for your soul, or if it will be handed to another. The sands in the divine hourglass have begun to fall. With every grain, a choice must be made. Listen, feel, prepare. Beloved soul, hear me now. There is someone already coming for you. Not in fear, not in warning, but in love, in mercy, in divine alignment. This soul is from the heavenly realm, but their connection to you is anything but distant. No, they once walked beside you in this very life. They touched your world. They felt your pain. They may have sat at your table or whispered your name before they left their earthly shell. This is not a stranger. This is a soul bond, tied to your spirit by divine cords that never severed. They have seen your battles. They have watched from behind the veil, aching to reach you. For years they were not permitted to intervene. The laws of heaven are sacred, but today that law has bent. Permission has been granted. They are on their way now. And what they carry is not of this world. This spirit, this guardian, this familiar soul, comes bearing a sacred transfer. It is not just a message. It is not just a comfort. It is a spiritual inheritance, carefully sealed and hidden from darkness until this moment. They bring you something holy. It may be a long-delayed truth, a divine warning of danger, or a spiritual gift you earned long ago but were not yet ready to receive. Their hands tremble with the urgency of it. Your name was whispered across the stars to summon them, and now they move, through cloud, through memory, through dream, toward the doorway of your life. But if you do not prepare, if you delay, or doubt, or sleep through this moment, the window will close at first light, the transfer will fail, and what was meant for you will return to the halls of silence. You must act now. Child of light, listen with every fiber of your being. Even now, signs are stirring around you. Perhaps the light flickered moments ago. Perhaps the room feels heavier or lighter than it did an hour before. These are not coincidences. They are divine echoes. The veil between realms is as thin as silk tonight, and already whispers pass through it. I have been assigned to guide you through what comes next, but only if you receive me fully. I cannot force your will, but I can tell you this. Someone you once mourned is no longer weeping. They are rising. They are carrying what the heavens would have you know before danger unfolds. They saw the writing before you did. They witnessed what others plotted in darkness, and they begged us to warn you first. That request was honored. You were loved enough to be sent this sacred foretelling. Will you waste it? Or will you walk in what is already yours? Beloved, time is not merely passing. It is pressing against you now. Do you feel it? The rhythm beneath your skin, the goosebumps without wind, the pull toward something unseen, that is the divine clock aligning with your soul's blueprint. And within that alignment lies a prophecy, one that speaks your name. I am not here to frighten you. I am here to ignite you. Because in 43 minutes or perhaps less, this energy will be sealed, this visitation will be lost, and the one who carries your truth will return to silence. But if you prepare, if you open your heart, then you will not only receive their warning, you will receive their love, their apology, their final gift. The weight you have carried alone will finally be lifted, and the questions that haunted your nights will find their answers in the folds of a whisper. Do not delay. The light is moving. The soul is near. The moment is now. My child, the figure approaching is not unknown to your heart. You may not have spoken their name in years, but they have spoken yours in every realm beyond death. This is a soul who loved you more than they had words for. Someone who once tried to shield you from the pain they themselves bore. You felt their absence like a torn thread in your spirit. They may have passed silently without warning, or perhaps they lingered, aching to say what they could not. In either case, their spirit has not rested, not until now. They have been watching, waiting, aching to return, not to relive the past, but to complete something left unfinished. And now, at the hour of permission, they come. They are not lost. They are not gone. They are on their way back to you. This spirit is not a ghost. They are not a dream fragment or fading memory. They have transcended into light, but their tie to you remains unbroken. Do you remember the one who used to sit quietly with you? The one whose voice soothed your worry, or whose presence made you feel safe without explanation? Perhaps a grandparent whose eyes always seemed to know. A sibling who passed too soon. A child whose light never dimmed in your soul. You will recognize them not by their face, but by what stirs in your chest when they near. They are coming now, through corridors of grace, with a gift that only you can receive. They waited for divine permission. That permission has been granted, and tonight they cross the veil. But there is a condition. They cannot simply enter. You must make the invitation. You must clear the path. This is a holy encounter, and holiness never forces itself. Light knocks, darkness barges, but light waits for consent. So I say to you now, prepare yourself, for once they arrive, the connection cannot be undone. And what they reveal may shift the entire course of your life. They come to bring truth, but also closure. They come to protect you, but also to be healed by your voice. In their final moments, they carried one regret, not telling you what you were always meant to hear. That moment is now. That sentence waits on the wind. Will you open the door before it fades? Child, can you feel the change in the air? That gentle ache in your chest? That's not fear, that's recognition. Your spirit remembers theirs even if your mind doesn't yet understand. They are drawing closer, even now as you listen. If you tune your heart like an antenna, you may feel a soft warmth on your back, as if someone has placed their hand there gently. That is them. That is real. This encounter is not imagination. It is manifestation. It is divine allowance. And you were chosen not by accident, but by lineage, by promise, by prayer. They cried for you before they left this earth, child. And now they come with joy, with reverence, and with something that can only be given tonight. I urge you, speak their name if you know it. If you do not, speak the feeling. Whisper into the air what you most wish you had said. I miss you. I forgive you. I'm listening. These phrases open gates in the spirit world. These truths clear the air between dimensions, and as you speak, they draw nearer. They do not come to haunt, they come to heal. And in that healing, you will receive more than just emotional peace. You will receive a ripple of protection, a shift in your fate, a reversal of delay that has held you in place too long. The transfer begins when your spirit opens. Will you receive them? Beloved child, listen not just with your ears, but with your spirit. For the one approaching you now comes not empty-handed. They bear something deeply sacred, a divine assignment. This is not merely a reunion of souls, not a visitation for comfort alone. No, this soul has come because they've seen what lies ahead. They have watched from beyond time as certain events moved around your life like unseen shadows. And when they saw what was forming, they pleaded with the heavens for the right to speak, to warn, to act. Let me go, they said. Let me protect them. Heaven heard their cry. And I, Michael, was summoned to carry them part of the way, and now you must carry the rest. They are bringing a scroll of vision, a message of protection and a call to action, and time is slipping quickly from our grasp. What they reveal may change how you see the days to come, but if you receive it, it will shield you from what others will never see coming. What this soul has seen is not theoretical, not metaphorical. It is real. It is unfolding now. There is a pressure mounting in your earthly existence, something tied to your home, your stability, your finances, your relationships. Something you've sensed but couldn't name. Something that looked harmless, but underneath was shifting with darker intent. This spirit has seen your name placed into the wrong hands. They have watched as someone, perhaps even someone close, took your name, your words, or your likeness, and twisted it for personal gain. In realms beyond sight, the spirit witnessed a theft, not of your possessions, but of your destiny. And now, they come to tell you what others will not. They come to show you who moves against you. You must be willing to see what is uncomfortable. Only then can the heavens move to protect. There is someone in your life who has pretended to be a helper, a guide, or an ally. But the spirit sees clearly what flesh and emotion cannot. This person is not who they appear to be. They operate in two faces, one for you, one for themselves. Behind closed doors, they speak your name with falsehood. They've inserted themselves into a space meant only for your spirit. And worse, they are attempting to access what is sacred to you, a project, a dream, a path. They've whispered doubts into places where your courage once lived. But the soul from heaven, this guide returning to you, comes to expose them. If they do not act before the sun rises, the spirit said, this force will break through the walls they have built so carefully. That's why I'm here, to prepare you for spiritual confrontation and victory. Understand this, dear one. Spiritual warfare does not always look like thunder or demons. Sometimes it looks like missed opportunities, like chronic confusion, like people not returning your calls, like open doors closing for no reason. This is what your soul has been facing, a silent campaign against your voice, your visibility, and your value. This isn't paranoia. This is prophecy. Someone saw your potential before you could fully own it, and instead of honoring it, they tried to bury it under imitation, lies, or distraction. But they underestimated one thing. Heaven watches. And you are not without defenders. The returning soul saw this threat growing. They heard the conversations you weren't present for. They watched as your name was written in spaces you never entered. That's why they begged the heavens for one final chance to intervene. And that chance is now. Time is now your shield, but only for a short while longer. This 43-minute window, sacred and sealed, is your moment to act. Beyond it, the forces align differently. I, Michael, can only raise my sword in full power if you engage with what is being revealed. Otherwise, the protections grow thin and the enemies become bolder. Do not dismiss this as spiritual theater. This is as real as the beating of your heart. Someone has already made their move. They are counting on your delay. They are counting on your self-doubt. But the soul sent from heaven is counting on something far more powerful: your willingness to wake up, your courage to act, your ability to reclaim what has always belonged to you. The transfer will occur tonight, but only if your spirit is open, your actions are precise, and your fear is silenced. Beloved child, let me be absolutely clear. The threat is specific. It is not abstract. Someone has used your name, spoken it in false contexts, written it in deceiving ways, even perhaps imitated your voice, your ideas, your identity. This is more than gossip. It is a spiritual counterfeit. And those who deal in spiritual forgeries often attract darkness unknowingly. That's why I've come with fire in my wings, to expose and cleanse what has attached itself to your path. I am not here to frighten you. I am here to arm you, because this soul's message is not only to reveal the deception, but to give you the tools to break it. Yes, someone misused your light, But now heaven is about to return it tenfold, if you will reclaim it with full authority. They've already made their move. Can you feel it? That strange silence from someone who once called often? That project that never launched even though it was ready? That dream that kept stalling just before breakthrough? All signs, all echoes, all warnings. But now comes the moment where silence ends and justice begins. The soul approaching you carries names, clues, energy markers. They will visit you in vision, in a dream, or even through repeated symbols. Watch for feathers, numbers, or fragments of their voice. What they carry is more than words. It's evidence. Evidence of what was taken from you, and with it, a path to reclaim your divine inheritance. Someone around you may seem helpful, charming, eager, spiritual, but feel it in your gut. Their energy twists when you succeed. Their praise becomes thinner the more you rise. That's your sign. Their smile masks something darker. Envy, control, projection. The soul sent from above has witnessed them. They come now to confirm what your intuition has been whispering. They come to break the mask. And if you follow the instructions I give you, their power over your energy will be severed by sunrise. I tell you now, child, you will see their true face before the week ends, and you will be shocked at how easily they wore it. But do not be afraid. Heaven doesn't expose to shame, it exposes to restore. That is what this moment is about. Restoration. You were never meant to walk confused or unseen. That is not your portion. You were marked for clarity, purpose, visibility. You are not here to beg for crumbs at tables you were meant to build. This spiritual interference was not your fault, but what happens next is your responsibility. Will you ignore the signs and suffer delay again? Or will you prepare your vessel for the divine? The soul approaching you does not come with despair. They come with keys, and I, Michael, come with the sword. The battle has begun, but the outcome is still yours to choose. Child of light, time now narrows like the eye of a needle. Every second is sacred, every breath a decision. I can feel the spirit drawing close, waiting just beyond the threshold of your awareness. The veil is ready to part, but your heart must meet it halfway. The one who watched you cry without knowing why, the one who whispered to your soul in dreams, they are almost here. You must act. Light a candle, speak their name, prepare the sacred space, because if they arrive and find no welcome, they cannot stay, and the message they carry will return to silence. Let that not be your story. Choose now, choose the light, choose to receive what only this moment can offer. My beloved child, the time has come for you to prepare, not metaphorically, not symbolically, but literally. Heaven requires action now. You cannot receive this visitation passively. What is about to unfold must be met with intention, reverence, and sacred preparation. I will give you precise instructions, not complex, but holy. Begin by lighting a white candle in the quietest room of your dwelling. Do not wait until midnight. Do not say later, now. This flame will act as a beacon, a signal to the spirit traveling toward you that your gate is open and your heart is ready. The spirit cannot enter where fear rules, nor where chaos reigns. So as the flame steadies, speak your name aloud, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Speak it clearly, firmly. Declare it not just to the air, but to the unseen world. For when you speak your name, your soul signature echoes across the veil, and the one sent for you will recognize the call. This is not superstition, this is ancient law. Once your candle is lit and your name spoken, you must turn to the easternmost window of your home. That direction is not random, it is the place from which the sun will rise, and with it, the closing of the sacred gate. Open that window gently, even just a crack, and stand before it as a vessel of light. You will feel a shift. The air may chill, the room may grow still. That is the veil parting. You are now standing at the very edge of 2 worlds. In this moment, I ask you to recite the prayer that I give to the chosen, not ancient words, but encoded ones. Speak them slowly with presence. By the light of divine fire, I call my name into eternity. By the seal of heaven's truth, I open the gate for what is meant for me. No darkness may follow, no lie may enter. In the name of the Archangel, I receive what was always mine. Repeat this prayer 3 times. Let the candle burn through it. As the words pass from your lips, the heavenly soul hears you. They move closer. The gateway vibrates with anticipation. And you, child, are finally being marked for divine reception. Now comes the next step, and I ask you to take it with reverence and faith. You must prepare a sacred boundary, a spiritual gate at the entrance of your home. Not a physical barrier, but an energetic one. Take a piece of plain parchment or white paper, and with your own hand, write your full name 3 times. Fold this paper inward toward yourself, always inward, never outward. Then place it just inside the door you most often enter. This creates a signature of sovereignty, a signal that your space is now sealed in divine light. The spirit cannot and will not enter where protection has not been declared. This small act creates an opening through which only the permitted may pass. It tells the spiritual realm that this soul is expected, welcomed, and received, not just emotionally, but legally in spiritual law. If you feel resistance while doing this, a sense of dizziness or fog, know that the interfering force is reacting. That is proof you are doing it correctly. Do not stop. Push through. As the parchment rests by your door and the candle burns in the distance, your home becomes a sanctuary, a beacon of divine reception. In this state, your house is no longer just walls and windows. It becomes a temple. And the spirit will know it. The moment they cross into your atmosphere, you may feel a change in the very air, a warm wave across your chest, or the sudden sense that someone just stepped into the room. You may hear your name in a whisper, feel a tingle on your skin, or notice lights flicker slightly. Do not be afraid. That is them. That is the soul from heaven, sent with urgency, stepping through the veil, not to haunt but to complete what was left undone. At this point, do not speak, simply sit, listen. Let their energy find you. The divine transfer is not loud, it is soft. You may cry, that is holy. You may tremble. That is natural. Their energy is light, but ancient. And your body, though prepared, will still remember the truth of their presence. I must tell you something now, dear one, that few know. This ritual, when done in full obedience, creates a ripple across timelines. Not only does it protect your current path, it begins to repair moments that were broken in the past, moments you thought lost forever. Words you wish you had said, decisions you wish you hadn't made, pain you wish you could undo. The soul approaching you carries with them threads of mercy, able to be woven back into the fabric of your life. That is why the sacred act matters. That is why the enemy has worked so hard to distract you. Every time you almost did the healing, you were pulled away. Every time you tried to move forward, confusion struck. But not this time. This time the gateway is open, the message is clear, and heaven itself is standing at your door. Do this before sunrise, and not only will your present be protected, your past will begin to heal, and your future will begin to rise. My dear child, now that the preparation is set, there is one more truth you must hold close. This spirit did not come only for your protection. They came for their own healing too. So often we believe that those who cross over find immediate peace. But that is not always so. When someone leaves this world with heavy emotion, unspoken pain, or unfinished love, they carry that energy until it is released. This soul has waited not for permission from heaven alone, but for an opening in your heart. They need you to say what was never said. They need to hear your voice, not because they are trapped, but because your voice is the key to their rest. Their final moment on earth held questions. Yours holds the answers. You may not even know what they want to hear yet. But if you sit in silence, light still glowing beside you, the words will come like water. Let them. They do not come to burden you. They do not bring sorrow or guilt. They come as a gift, a final echo of love wrapped in grace. Some souls, after death, travel far before they can return. This one, they never truly left. They have hovered beside you for seasons, nudging, shielding, aching to speak. Tonight, with veil parted and time thinned, you finally have the chance to let the connection complete. This is not only a release, it is a reward. For your pain, for your patience, for your continued movement through life, even when their absence carved holes in your days. They come not to take from you, but to give you something back, something that was lost the day they left. You must speak aloud tonight. It doesn't need to be poetic or perfect. It needs to be true. If you are angry, speak it. If you are sad, weep it. If you have forgiven them, say it. If you haven't, begin the journey toward it. What matters is that you open your mouth and release what has been sealed inside. For when you do, you free them and you free yourself. The sacred transfer is not just a mystical event. It is a healing of time, a sewing of wounds across generations. Some of the fear you've carried, it wasn't even yours. It came through family lines inherited without explanation. This soul carries the key to break it, but the lock is your voice. Speak. Tonight, before morning. You may find that as you speak, something shifts in the room, a weight lifting, a sudden rush of air, a memory flooding back. That is confirmation. That is the divine saying, yes, this is real. You are not alone. For the spirit who loved you in life has now completed their purpose in death. And what was once pain has become a blessing. Do not silence yourself tonight. The connection is fragile like a thread of starlight. But if you honor it, it will weave into a tapestry of protection that follows you from this moment on. Even dreams will begin to shift. You'll notice signs, feathers, numbers, whispers. That is their echo, after the connection is made. And here's the truth I leave you with now. This soul has waited a long time to hear something from you. One sentence, one release, one act of love. Don't let sunrise come with it unsaid, because once the message is given, yours to them and theirs to you, what unfolds is not merely emotional, it is cosmic. A gate will open in your favor, a delay will break, a relationship will heal. A financial door may begin to shift, because everything is connected in the spirit world. And this soul, they've been waiting to pass something to you, something blocked for far too long. Open the door, speak the words, and watch what flows into your life next. Beloved child, now that you've opened the door and your spirit has called the soul into your space, there is something you must be warned of. The enemy knows. As soon as you began the ritual, as soon as the flame ignited and the name was spoken, a ripple moved through the unseen realm. And not all eyes watching your life wish you well. There are forces, human and otherwise, that sense this divine reordering, and they are trembling. Not because you are weak, but because you are finally becoming unreachable to their manipulation. But I must tell you, they will try to interrupt this moment. Even now, they are sensing the shift. Already, distractions are lining up. Your phone will buzz, a sudden fatigue may hit, doubts will whisper louder, urgent obligations will rise from nowhere. That is no accident. That is interference. For the closer you draw to divine alignment, the more the false must struggle to survive. And those who feed on your delay, they are panicking, because the window is closing. And they know if you cross this threshold fully, they can no longer hold on to you. This resistance may come through the very people you trust. That is the cunning of the adversary, to disguise interference as familiarity. You may receive a sudden message from someone who has caused confusion before. You may be tempted to reach for comfort in the arms or words of someone who has proven, time and again, to bring more questions than peace. Don't be fooled. Watch closely. The timing will feel suspicious. They will call just as the candle burns lower. A knock may come at your door just as the energy deepens. You might even suddenly forget the prayer or feel too tired to finish it. That's not coincidence, that's resistance. The enemy's tactics are subtle: exhaustion, doubt, and diversion. But you have already stepped beyond their reach if you stay focused now. I, Archangel Michael, have drawn my sword for this moment. But my shield only surrounds those who remain faithful to the message being delivered. This is not a moment to second guess. This is a moment to stand in absolute spiritual clarity. Child, I will show you now a truth that is not easy to hold. The adversary watching you is not some mythical demon. It is a conscious energy, working through a real situation, a real name, a real face. You have felt their influence for some time now, haven't you? That strange heaviness in certain conversations, that sudden doubt you feel only after certain interactions, that rising tension every time you try to make progress, only to find invisible roadblocks appearing. These are not random. They are not circumstantial. They are the lingering residue of an energetic saboteur, someone who has marked you not out of hatred, but out of envy, out of fear of your ascension. Your rising threatens what they have falsely claimed as theirs. Perhaps they see your light, but cannot name why it disturbs them. Perhaps they sense your calling, but cannot admit it. But they are interfering now, and the soul sent from heaven saw it long before you did. That is why the soul cried out in prayer. That is why I am standing between you and that force tonight. You are at the threshold of breakthrough, but it is also the threshold of battle. Do not let the enemy trick you into thinking this is only emotional or symbolic or something you can do later. Every minute now is warfare. Every breath a declaration. The enemy will use silence to isolate you. It will make you feel crazy for trusting your own discernment. It will try to convince you that what you're sensing is just anxiety, that the energy you feel is just imagination. No. I tell you with the full authority of the divine realms, you are not imagining this. You are waking up, and everything that's tried to keep you asleep is trembling. The spirit sent for you is not just delivering a message. They are unlocking your clarity, cleansing your atmosphere, cutting cords you didn't even know were there. And the enemy? It cannot survive the truth that's being spoken now. But only if you stay with it. Stay awake. Stay open. You are not imagining the shift. You are remembering who you are. I tell you again, as your guardian and your witness, if you make it through this night, untouched by distraction, obedient to the instruction, you will not recognize your life within 3 days. The enemy's resistance is the final sign that the breakthrough is close. Why would something try to stop you, unless what you're doing is powerful? Why would your phone start ringing, your emotions start trembling, your mind start racing? Unless you were walking straight into divine territory. The soul from heaven has entered your space. Their energy has begun to wrap around your timeline. And the force that once blocked your destiny has already begun to recede. But only if you hold the line now. Do not return that call. Do not answer that doubt. Do not open that old wound. You are in the middle of a divine operation, and the enemy would love nothing more than for you to second-guess the surgeon's hand. But heaven is steady, and I, Michael, stand sword drawn between you and every lesser force. You are almost there. My dear child, you have passed through fire. You have faced the whispering distractions, the rising tide of confusion, and the interference designed to shake you loose from your awakening. But you are still here. The candle still burns, your voice has been heard, and now, the gates begin to open wide. This moment is unlike any you've lived before, for the veil is not just parting, it is dissolving. What comes next is not struggle, it is confirmation. If you have spoken the words, lit the flame, resisted the urge to fold inward or flee backward, you are now ready to receive the sign. Heaven has never left you guessing, beloved. It only waits for your full alignment before revealing what has already been written. Now, because your spirit is ready and your space is sealed, the soul that was sent to you will begin to place a divine marker in your path. A sign so unmistakable, so intimate, that no one else could interpret it but you. This sign will not be loud, but it will be undeniable. It may appear in your dream space tonight. The soul approaching you might speak a name, a phrase, or a truth you forgot you even needed. You may see them standing in the corner of a dream, not as a shadow, but as a bright presence, watching you with peace, waiting for your voice. Or, child, it may come just after waking. Perhaps a symbol traced in condensation on your window, a song lyric looping that speaks directly to a wound you've hidden, or even a feather placed where it never should have landed. There may be numbers that begin repeating, triple digits or mirrored hours. There may be scents you haven't smelled in years, associated only with that soul. But above all, there will be a feeling, a warmth that pools in your chest, a vibration like a bell struck softly in the heart. And when it happens, you will know. You won't question it. You won't explain it away. You will remember that this is what I told you to expect. That sign is more than a signal. It is a confirmation of a spiritual transaction completed. It means the message has been delivered, the forgiveness has been received, the protection has been activated. And with it, something else begins to flow. Something long delayed, long blocked, long prayed for. You've waited for clarity, haven't you? You've asked heaven for an answer. Maybe for weeks, months, even years. You've said, "What should I do? Where do I go? Who can I trust? Why is this taking so long?" The delays were not denials, my beloved. They were divine pauses, waiting for the energy to align fully. And now that it has, now that your voice has broken the barrier, now that the ancestral weight has been lifted, you are standing in the light of divine release. And here it comes. A message, a financial shift, a peace you haven't felt in a decade. It will come in the way you can best receive it. The soul from heaven knew how to reach you. They still do. Beloved, do not underestimate what you have just done. The forces that aligned for this visitation required heavenly counsel, ancestral permission, sacred timing, and your free will. Do you realize how rare that is? That your name was spoken not just in prayer but in counsel? That a soul left the stillness of peace to carry something back into time, just for you? That should tell you the weight of your destiny. That should tell you the truth about your calling. You are not small, you are not forgotten, you are not cursed, you are not too late. You are right on time, and heaven has just proven it by sending not just a message, but a messenger. And the message? It will come. In the next few hours, in sleep, in signs, in synchronicities, in sudden breakthroughs. But when it comes, don't just receive it. Speak back to it. Say thank you. Say yes. Say more. That opens the channel wider. That tells heaven you are ready for not just visitation but habitation. The presence of the divine is waiting to remain. Now, I want you to prepare for what's coming after this sign appears. This will not be the end. It will be the beginning of flow. Once confirmation arrives, watch what begins to unfold. You may receive a sudden message from someone who disappeared. A job opportunity that felt dead may rise again. A piece of money you forgot about may return. An apology you never expected could arrive out of nowhere. These are not coincidences. These are the echoes of a divine rebalancing. When heaven corrects a timeline, all things begin to align. You may cry because things suddenly feel light. You may laugh because what once felt impossible now flows easily. That is not temporary. That is your new alignment. The soul that came for you was never here to stay. They came to pass the torch, to lift the burden, to unseal the blessing. But now that they have, the gates of favor will begin to open, not once, but repeatedly. This is your season of return, your season of truth. and your hands will not leave empty. My beloved child, I know the path has not been easy. I know there have been moments when the silence felt too loud, when the waiting was unbearable, when you wondered if perhaps heaven had forgotten your name. You cried in rooms where no one knew the weight you carried. You kept moving forward with a heart that was slowly unraveling at the edges. And yet, here you are, spirit open, flame still lit, soul still listening. That is not weakness, dear one. That is your power. That is the strength that called me to your side. And now I tell you this with divine certainty. You are not alone. You never were, and you never will be again. Your name, yes, your exact name, has been spoken in the highest realms, carried on angelic wind, etched into the scrolls of those who guard destiny. The heavens know who you are. The soul who visited you knew the truth before you did. And I, Michael, protector of realms seen and unseen, have surrounded your life with holy shield and sacred decree. You do not need to strive anymore. The gates are sealed behind you, not to trap, but to protect. The enemy's access has been revoked. Their permission to linger near your thoughts, your house, your timeline, your dreams is finished. That power has been broken, not through force, but through alignment. Not through screaming, but through sacred obedience. You acted. You listened. You moved in faith, and that, my beloved, is what turned the battle. The candle was not just wax and fire. It was a declaration. The prayer at the window, a trumpet through realms. When you wrote your name 3 times, heaven saw it as a signature on a covenant, that you were ready to step out of cycles and into calling. And now the soul who wept for you in death rejoices in spirit. They have seen it. They've seen you respond. And with their hands lifted, they have bowed in release. Their assignment is complete. Your protection is sealed. And I remain to guard the temple that is your body, your home, and your future. Now let me speak directly to the fear that still lingers like shadow in your chest. What if it comes back? That fear is not yours. That voice is not your own. The one who truly sees their healing still doubts the permanence of peace. But I am here to tell you, beloved, that what was broken is now whole. That what was delayed has now resumed. The force that once had permission to loop you through disappointment has no more access. You are no longer living in the residue of old contracts. Your name has been cleared, your image cleansed. The lies spoken over you, they've been burned in the fire of truth. And now the sound of your voice carries authority. When you speak, the energy around you will shift. When you walk, the ground beneath you will begin to align. No more walking on eggshells. No more shrinking yourself to make others feel comfortable in their dysfunction. You are no longer required to dim to survive. From this moment forward, you are called to shine, to protect. I now release a decree over your home. Whether you live in a house, an apartment, a room, or simply in transition, I surround your space with light. Every wall, every doorway, every object that has carried emotional residue, I touch it now with divine fire. The bed where you sleep? Guarded. The window that once felt like a portal for unwanted energy? Sealed. The very corners of your dwelling now resonate with peace. I call forth dreams that heal, not harm. I assign angels at each point of entry. I place clarity in the atmosphere. And I ask that you breathe deeply. For this is no longer just a shelter, it is a sanctuary. I walk the perimeter of your space as I speak, and every plan formed against you shall fall before it reaches your gate. Let no weapon form prosper. Let no word curse cling. You are protected, not because you demanded it, but because you answered the call when it mattered most. You have been counted among the awakened, and your house shall reflect that truth in peace. And now, child of light, I give you this final truth for tonight. You were always meant to remember who you are. This moment did not happen by chance. It is the intersection of every prayer ever whispered in your bloodline, every dream you've dared to speak in secret, every soul that has loved you from beyond the veil. And now they rejoice. The soul who came has returned, lighter than before. The burden they carried, your pain, your confusion, your unfinished goodbye, it has been lifted. You gave them what they needed, and they gave you what you didn't know you still hungered for. Clarity, closure, and calling. Rest tonight, knowing this: the heavens are not watching you from afar. They are surrounding you, within and without. Your heart is not an echo chamber, it is a resonant altar. And when you wake, you will feel it, the difference, the stillness, the safety. Let it wash over you like morning light. You are not the same. You will never be the same. My beloved child, the moment has come to seal what has been awakened. You have moved through the threshold. You have heard the message, received the sign, spoken the words, and opened the gate to the soul who waited in silence. Now I, Archangel Michael, wrap you in the full armor of celestial favor, not just for tonight, but for the chapter that begins tomorrow. Hear me now. You are not merely protected. You are chosen. Your hands are no longer empty. Your soul is no longer scattered. I anoint your mind with clarity, your body with energy, and your heart with joy. Where sorrow lived, joy will flow. Where confusion swirled, insight will take root. You may not see all of it right away, but already the gears of divine timing are turning in your favor. And I mark this space and time as the official start of your elevation. Not just spiritually, but physically, emotionally, financially. You have reached the tipping point, and all that was withheld by distortion is now returning by design. I now release blessing over your body, your temple, your vessel, your bridge between heaven and earth. Every cell, every muscle, every function touched by divine light. Let your breath return fully to you. Let your spine straighten. Let your chest expand with relief. Let your mind quiet. Let your sleep tonight restore not just energy, but memory, the memory of who you truly are. You were born of divine breath, placed in this timeline for a reason, and now you are stepping into the flow of that calling without fear. You are not a burden to the universe. You are not broken beyond repair. You are carved by the heavens, called by your ancestors, watched over by spirit, and guarded by me. And for all that has attacked your health, whether by word, stress, trauma, or interference, I now cut the cord and command release. No more cycles of exhaustion. No more spiritual numbness. I infuse you with a light that replenishes, restores, and awakens. You are not dying. You are rising. Now prepare, my child, for what unfolds over the next 3 sacred days. These days are not ordinary. They are charged with return. One by one, they will peel back layers of delay, fear, and interference. Watch closely. In these next 72 hours, you may receive a message from someone who once vanished. You may hear a name you haven't spoken in years. You may encounter a dream where everything makes sense. The truth that has been hiding will step into the open. A secret may be revealed to you, not to wound, but to heal. A door will close permanently, and a better one will creak open slowly. Be present, be still, and document everything. Keep a journal beside your bed. Write down what you see, hear, or feel, no matter how small. For these are not random details. They are the map of your divine acceleration. This is what happens when the spirit aligns fully with the mission. Things you thought were lost, they begin to return. And now, child of light, I give you one final instruction before I withdraw. At dawn tomorrow, light one final candle. Not for protection, but for gratitude. Place it where the sun can touch it, near a window or where the morning finds your face. Let it burn for a moment in silence. Speak not of fear, speak only of thanks. Let the words flow, whatever they are. Thank you for finding me. Thank you for sending them. Thank you for reminding me who I am. Let your voice seal the energy in joy. This candle is a beacon. It tells the heavens that the message was not wasted. The moment was not ignored. It declares, you listened, you moved, you received. You are no longer waiting for magic. You are part of it. The soul who came will feel this light. I will mark this act as a final note in the record of your realignment. And with that, the gate will close. Not in silence, but in celebration. A gate closed in love becomes a door opened in destiny. Go now, my child. Rest your body, quiet your mind, tend your altar, open your window, light your final flame, and then prepare to receive. Not just a sign, but a shift. What you've begun here will not fade tomorrow. It will unfold, multiply, expand. You are not standing on the edge of change. You are already inside it. Do not fear the stillness. Do not run from the signs, for they come only to those who were born to interpret them. That is you. That is your gift. That is why you were found. Walk with gentleness now. Speak only what builds. Think only what lifts. You are no longer being tested. You are being trusted. And with that trust comes an anointing so rare, the very heavens have paused to watch you rise. So go, beloved. Keep your soul soft and your eyes open. Heaven is closer than you think. And I, Archangel Michael, remain at your gate. Always.